Talk about a lot of newer rap fans might have just heard you for the first time on Good Kid, Mad City.
Right.
Which is one of the greatest hip hop albums ever.
Shout out to Kendrick.
Shout out to Kendrick.
Shout out to Kendrick. Shout out to Top Dog, Dre.
Just that record is like just the way it switches up, and then you come in, it's like,
oh yeah, that was probably one of the probably one of the best, guest appearances I've done or working with Kendrick, because my dude know what he wanted. He sees his vision, he sees his direction, and he came about it a different approach than what we usually used to as far as West Coast artists who come from that situation, poverty, gang banging. We usually turn out the CMWs, the NWAs, the Cubes, the whatever. And he was able to take it to a different level.
Almost like from the perspective of the kid who grows up in that.
I grew up, everybody gang banging around me, everybody selling dope, my brother, my uncle, my shit. And I am the straightforward kid, but I'm still here, so I get to witness everything. Not that I'm a part of it, because even though I don't have to say it, they gonna protect me or they gonna affiliate me with over here or whatever. But I'm just a kid on the straight path who see the pitfalls, and I'm trying to avoid that. So as soon as I hooked up with him, he knew what he wanted. He knew where he wanted to go, how he wanted. He was telling me shit. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And you got to respect a motherfucker like that. He didn't come into the game playing with nothing. I'm not going to play around with this shit.
Were you like aware? Because obviously at that point in time, Kendrick was definitely buzzing. Dre had Section 80 already came out.
I wasn't aware of Kendrick at all.
So you weren't aware of like the magnitude of like, yo, this shit is.
I started fucking with Kendrick because my son's sister knew of him, and she called me and said they were trying to get in contact with me. I didn't know anything about Kendrick. I didn't know about Section 80, none of that
shit.
No.
You were just like, I mean, all right.
My son's sister called me and said, Eiht, this guy named Kendrick, he's messing with Dre, blah, blah, blah. They want to get you on the song. And I was like, yeah, okay.
What was it that did, because, there's so many iconic rappers from Compton, but I thought it was so dope that he put you on that record because it wasn't like expected, and it was very like.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't expected from anyone.
No, I remember I saw that. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This fool got MC Eiht on the fucking album about Compton. Like, Jesus Christ.
Like I said, I put nothing to it. When I showed up at the studio, we recorded the song in Carson.
Right.
At the spot. So I just looked at it as my nigga's one of these up and coming rappers. He got skills and blah, blah. And then I think the minute after I recorded the song, I went home that night and then everything was Kendrick.
Like
I'm
like,
whoa.
Like, damn.
I'm like, oh, he signed to Dre and whoomty whoom. And then next day, Aftermath hit me and Top Dog and Punch and niggas was like, hey. And I was like, they was like, you the only motherfucker who got to be on the record.
Bro.
You, Drake, and I think Mary J.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah.
They didn't let anybody else on the record. So I was like, whoa, okay. So good look. That's why I said good looking Dre, TDE, all that, because he could have chose anybody.
Yeah.
Especially with Dre behind him. Dre would be like, I don't want that motherfucker. I want that. But when they said Dre said, fuck it, cool, I just looked at it as they looked at it as I was a nigga coming from Compton who my whole career, I was just one path. I didn't try to go here, come here, or here. I just stuck to CMW type of shit, the neighborhood, whatever. So that song was perfect to try to throw me on.
I also feel like it was a dope homage to your career because you're somebody who is very underappreciated in the grand scheme of when we discuss West Coast hip hop.
Oh, definitely.
You're very underrated. Your catalog is fire, and I feel like that was a dope tip to what you've been doing.
I took that from his point of view as well. I looked at it as, he respected true West Coast hip hop. And coming from Compton, we got Dre, we got Quick is there, so I'm like, but I've always stuck to that.
But I've
always been consistent with what I do. So coming from Compton to pay, I'm like, he's already fucking with Dre. You know what I'm saying? So I just looked at it like, let's get somebody that we feel has always represented the city of Compton, always been consistent, and like you said, underrated and don't get that much shine and pay homage. So I didn't even question money or anything.
That's fire.
When they hit me up, I just went to the studio. I wasn't like, oh, well, he signed to Dre. How much y'all finna pay me and all that? I went to the studio, dropped the verse, shook my nigga hand, and we bounced. And I think I heard from them like 3 months later, and they was like Dre and Aftermath and all. And I was like, whoa, this finna be some big shit.
Fire.